Pedro is generally known for his professional work, creating intellectually stimulating, maybe mostly professional.
Simple work. Simple work.
Hey Druids, I hope you're all staying safe. Today I have for you an epic player spotlight of Pedro. Although Pedro started out as an avid SR2 creator, he's now a member of the Jundru developer team as part of a university internship. Today I'm going to highlight some of his most unique work and hopefully show you some tricks in the process. Pedro's reputation is for creating unique and diverse crafts, most of which showcase different modification methods or physics quirks of the game. To be honest, I can't think of a better player to follow and study their work if you want to truly understand the inner workings of this game. As you all know, I like to give a bit of personal background in each spotlight. Pedro has made fun of the way I have introduced players in my first two spotlights, so I'm going to do his a little bit differently. The first thing you need to know about Pedro is that he doesn't sleep. Seriously, I don't remember the last time I sent him a message and he didn't respond within minutes. He lives in Spain, which is 8 hours ahead of me, and he's active even during my nighttime. Here's a glamorous shot of the back of Pedro's head. Look at those shiny locks. The only other thing I'd like to mention about Pedro is his number one piece of advice for all of you. Stop making Falcon 9s and starships. Do something unique. Don't take this personally, guys. It's fine to make whatever you want, but if you want to really stand out, focus on making things that don't already exist on the site. Okay, I think that's enough about Pedro the person. Hopefully he's satisfied with his intro, but he probably won't be. Oh well. Folks, I think it's time to get into some of Pedro's complex work. The first thing I have to highlight is his Grail system. If you don't know what this is, I seriously want you to pause this video, click the link in the description below, and just bask in the glory. Then you can unpause and keep watching. The Grail rocket is named for the Holy Grail, as it was originally intended to be the Holy Grail of XML editing. This rocket was created prior to Visi and the part connections tool, so all features and functions had to be manually added and updated using the base XML file. The Grail system is so complex that it actually includes a user manual. Despite the complexity under the hood, the beauty of this system is being able to simply drag and drop modules onto the rocket in order to create any customized rocket you desire. We're going to come back to this later and create an automated cinematic of the Grail in action by upgrading it with a few Visi features. I can't wait. If you study some of Pedro's earlier work, you can find a sequence of tricks that culminate in the fully automated Grail system. Take this one for example. While it looks simple, this was one of the earliest instances of linking alternate inputs to pistons and hinges. Notice how everything is not only throttle controlled, but activates at different ranges of the throttle. And while this type of thing can certainly be controlled by Visi nowadays, sometimes it's simpler and easier just to create an XML input controller. For instance, I do this sometimes for my landing legs so that I don't have to code them and take up processor space. And then there is, of course, the reusable fairing. Again, very simple looking, but an extremely clever use of part modification. This is a series of cargo bays with their opening angles set to -90 degrees. This creates a nice hollow part that can then be merged with other similar parts to create a custom shape. Add a couple of hinges, and you now have a fully functional reusable fairing. Next up is an example of customized staging. This craft has a piston that is linked to an engine-type staging event, as well as changing the input controller to throttle instead of a slider. This creates a cool extending nozzle effect. Alright, now for a bit of fun. The Roadster is so incredibly enjoyable to drive, and with Ludicrous mode, it's even better. Even this craft has a special bit of history. For one, it was made before the part connections tool was available. Imagine having to manually build each of the connections in XML in order to make this perfect replica. The next building block toward the eventual Grail creation are these automated solid rocket boosters. They disconnect automatically when they run out of fuel. Remember people, no Visi. Now the 7-segment display. You couldn't create the Grail countdown clock without this. And then there's the button. This is a way more efficient way of generating simple functional interiors without Visi. Now we just need text overlays. And here you have something super creepy. Then there's the original Flappy Bird. I mean, seriously, is there anything this guy hasn't done? I feel like almost everything being created right now was originally done in some form by Pedro, including my work. Another milestone toward the Grail creation was the removal of attachment points in order to create easy-to-use modules. This craft demonstrates an early proof of concept. Of course, I have to highlight the infamous Andrew art. And this brings us back, finally, to the Grail. I've shown you many of the building blocks that Pedro had to develop in order to make the Grail a reality. I want to call out at this point that the Grail was a collaboration between Pedro and Jastro. Together, the two of them worked on this masterpiece for 6 months. I could think of no more fitting tribute to Pedro's work than to add even more automation to the Grail in order to bring you a cinematic homage. What you're going to see is an unedited, single-shot launch and landing of the Grail crew capsule. I've added some additional cameras as well as a gravity turn script. We'll do a normal takeoff and single-stage burn, but activate a manual abort at about 20 kilometers to demonstrate the crew capsule escape system. One button push at the beginning, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this player spotlight, guys. These are really fun for me to make and a great way to pay tribute to some of our most impactful players out there. I've received so many recommendations and requests to do specific players, and I love the engagement from you all. I promise I'll keep on doing these, but it's a slow process for me to write, shoot, and edit them, so please have patience with me. The more support I get from you guys, the more motivated I am to continue. Before I wrap up this spotlight, the last thing I want to say to Pedro is thanks. Not only for your inspiring and unique crafts, but for the mark you've made on the latest update to the game. We're all so happy and proud that one of our fellow Druids made it to the big leagues as a developer of the game. Kudos to you and the rest of the Gendrew team for listening to the community and providing amazing tools that continue to spark our collective imagination. Thanks everyone. See you next time.